Hey everybody, it's Anthony and Hashersnet here, and I am with two other people, and today we're going to talk about Hasbro PulseCon 2020, the Transformers segments, and first we'll start with CrimsonRaptors. Go ahead and introduce yourself, you tell people about your channel, and then of course everybody, you can chat with us, links at the bottom of the screen, and we're in the HNE Games chat room on YouTube. If you're on Twitch, you might see a pop-up here, and I'll try to catch everything that comes up. But go ahead, Crimson Raptors, go ahead and introduce yourself.
So I'm CrimsonRaptors. You can find me on YouTube with my stop-motion animations, some unboxings, and some upcoming Transformer reviews, as well as on Twitter. You can find me post next to nothing on there, but I am around. On Instagram, you can find me post stuff that I unbox, as well as some photography, stuff like that. All three of those are at Crimson, like the dark red color, Raptors, RAPTORS, and that's where you can find me.
Okay. Input, go ahead.
Well, guys, channel's name is Input's Toy Reviews and Stop Motion, and just like the title of the channel says, it's toy reviews and it's stop motion. And so you guys can find me over there, and you guys can find me on Instagram under Ernest P. Whirl, just like the guy who saved your childhood with a bottle of Miak.
And of course, if you're watching HNE Games, you already know, so you're here already. Like and subscribe everybody's channels, and so we're going to start the discussion with something that was released earlier in this week, and I'm going to pop a picture up. First off, Input, your thoughts on the pit, the Quintesson pit that was put up for sale earlier this week.
I bought it. I mean, I was excited when they announced it, and I set my laptop 5 minutes before they went live and kept refreshing the page until it popped up, and then I bought it. Hands down. Loved it. I love the idea of it. I love everything about
it. Crimson?
So, I thought it was going to be priced a little bit more, but the Pit of Judgment, I think, was priced right for what you got. I pre-ordered mine. The issue that I do have with it is that I wish the Prosecutor, you know, the one with like the H.R. Giger alien head with the tentacles spread out, that I wish that had more posability on it. And we have Kranix, and that's great, but I wish they would have also included a second one for Arbulus, because both of them were there in the pit, because he was the first one that was dropped in the Sharkticon pit. So I feel like that more articulation for the Prosecutor and Arbulus as well. I think having all that would have made that even more sweeter. And, you know, hell, charge me $10 more, right? And I'll do it. But it's it's at the price it's at, and everything you get in it with the Bailiff Guard, the retooled Alicon, right? You get the Quintesson, which I wasn't going to get the Earthrise, but now I'm going to end up with that giant-sized Quintesson Judge. And then the Sharkticon, you know, hey, it's okay to have a different colored one, but I think as a display piece, it's going to be really incredible on a show. So, yep, definitely excited for it.
Yeah, because I also ordered it. It's now sold out after just 2 batches. They've gone through 2 batches. They did one in the early sale. Then they put one out yesterday, I guess. So already sold out again. I bought this set here. I actually had reserved or pre-ordered on Amazon the Quintesson. But I was like, well, I don't need 2 Quintesson, and I really like the movie accurate one. So I canceled my Amazon pre-order, grabbed this one. I also already ordered another Alicon, because you see the Executioner is a different color. And then I have two other Nas. So then this new colored Nas, which I think Na is a recolor of one of the Prime Wars Na. I can't remember, the Legend class. Yes, I think he's just a recolor. Yeah. So
Titan's Return is where that Sharkticon came.
Yeah. So I thought he was. It's just make him the leader of my little group kind of thing. Same thing with the Alicon. So a little bit of troop building there. I really liked the set as a whole. And yes, I thought it was going to be at least $10 more. But when you do the math, you go, well, $30 for the Voyager class, $20 for the Deluxe class, $10 for the Legends class. That's already $60. And then Kranix and the what is the little guy called?
The prosecutor.
The prosecutor. Thank you. I don't know why I blanked. You're basically getting those for $5 each, and they are like legend / mini con scales. So it's I think it's a good value.
I think we should have gotten in the I say Arbalest and an articulated prosecutor. I think the only thing that's missing from that as well is I forgot about the executioner, the little guy that hits the switch that also is non-transforming. I think that's the only thing that's missing from that, but I'm sure somebody will make a 3D printed model of it and we can have it with those.
Oh yeah. I think third party and people who print do all that stuff, 3D printing and everything. I think this is going to run rampant for them. You're going to see add-on kits for this. You're going to see, all kinds of crazy stuff to add to this.
So another thing that we got was a preview to War for Cybertron Season 2, which was Earthrise. And they did confirm the Mercenaries are a third. And we already knew this. They've released a couple of toys already, Mercenaries. But they did confirm that Sound Blaster, Double Dealer, Exhaust, and Bugbite are Mercenaries. And they're going to play a big role in the Earthrise Netflix series coming up. And as I look for a poster here, what do you... Because they're saying there's going to be some type of time travel, which in a discussion I had with a couple other guys, we were like, well, I mean, how are they going to do time travel? It just doesn't seem like it was possible, but somehow it now is because of the way the portal was disrupted. I guess that's how they do it. But starting with Input, what do you think is going to happen? How are they going to meet the Predacons and the Maximals? How is that going to work?
Well, see, I think that the portal that, so at the end of Siege, we see they blast off the Ark and all that stuff. So we're in the mindset of the Autobots are going to be the one that time travels. I think that what ends up happening is that they make it to 1984. They don't time travel, but they do make it to Earth perfectly fine, and all that stuff happens. I think that there's going to be some type of future war Maximal Predacon going on. Same situation. Maximals try to leave. They blast off. And then the Axelon is what time travels back to 1984. And then they end up getting their modes very similar to the way that they did in Beast Wars. They scan the planet. And they want to do something different since they're Predacons and Maximals. They're not Autobots or Decepticons. So they go with animals instead of trucks and cars and stuff like that. So I think the Maximals and the Predacons will be the ones that time travel, not necessarily the Autobots.
Okay, so Crimson, what's your thoughts on what's happening here?
Mine keeps kind of changing with every little bit of information that we get. Because my original theory was that, okay, so Double Dealer and Bugbite and what did we say was the Exhaust, right? We know those are mercenaries, but there's also in the trailer, there's Thrust, Dirge, and Ramjet as mercenaries along with Double Dealer. So I wouldn't be surprised if the disenfranchised Decepticons like these are, there's a plot with the Quintessons that they are, wheeling and dealing with them, or maybe they don't know, but Double Dealer does, right? Like he's working with the Quintesson, and they're trying to find the Allspark, or they're trying to do, like, somehow the Quintessons know about it. This is totally new lore, so they're trying to add in different stuff, and they're hiring them to go get as much information about this Allspark because now it's lost and Quintessons want it. And so my thought was that the Allspark lands on a planet, which, whether it's Earth or whether it's another planet altogether, and that's where the Beast Wars come in. So those characters become, Tidor and the fossilizers and all that jazz. And so they got it. So now it's a mad dash to get to that planet Earth, but they don't get to the planet Earth until years later when it's 1984, and they have to recover the fossils, right? The fossilizers, the Beast Wars characters and stuff. Like they got to dig and find them, like they're kind of like spread out, like the Cyber Planet Keys kind of deal, but all on one planet instead of 4 different ones.
Okay. So next up on there, something I forgot when they were talking about the Autobot. Or no, we did the pitch. Okay, the next thing was the Autobot clones. So there is a map, and let's see if I can find it. Essentially, last month they released, or they set up pre-orders for Ratchet and Lifeline, I want to say. I feel like I'm correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they decided that this time they're going to finally release the Autobot twins, and I'm going to throw the picture up here on the screen. The Autobot clones, you should say specifically. And so the medics were para-drawn, and now we're skipping over to, which one was it? Was it Botropolis or Biosphere? Biosphere?
Biosphere.
Yeah, because they're not numbers. I don't know which order is what. But so they go to Biosphere, and then they introduce the Autobot clones, because if you may remember, a couple months ago they did the Decepticon clones. Now those were a Target exclusive, if I'm right or not. These are an Amazon exclusive, and I already pre-ordered mine. What about you, Crimson? Did you get them, or are you not interested? You don't care about clones?
Well, so I'm kind of. So is that on the? Is that link live now? Because I've not been able to find it, but I am getting the clones because I have the Decepticon.
Yeah, you go to. Yeah, I searched for Transformers War for Cybertron Autobot clones, and it popped up right away.
Let me see if I can find it, because I do want to make sure I get that pre-order in as well. Okay, there it is. Cool. Yeah, $24.99. Ooh, that's not bad.
Yeah, right. Same price as the other ones.
I'm ordering mine right now because we're doing it live.
His credit card number is this following number.
What's your security code, Crimson? I'm asking for a friend.
1, 2, 3, 4. Same as my luggage. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you're in the chat and you catch that reference, tell us what movie that's from.
Okay, so input. Did you grab them?
Live and on the fly. I think these are really great for anybody who missed out on getting them the first time around, because they were so difficult to get. Both sets, I think, is really, really good when they get re-released. I absolutely love it.
Okay.
But I will say that I am out on these, because I've got the Takara anime accurate colored ones, the all pink and red ones. But that's okay, because that's one more set out there for somebody who wants it, right? Like, they're not competing with me to get it, so it works.
Well, I just got 2 sets, so I just picked up your set input.
Because there's going to be people. Yeah, people. What was it? There was. How did they divide up the clones before in the Prime Wars? You could get one Autobot clone, one Decepticon clone in a pack from Walgreens, and then one Autobot clone in a $200 set, and the Decepticon clone in a $200 set. I feel like very few people accomplished that.
I don't remember them being $200. I think they were $120 originally. I think one was Entertainment Earth and one was Amazon, but it was still ridiculously difficult to get.
Yeah, I mean, they were 160, I think, technically.
Okay, yeah. So I think it was Chaos on Velocitron and Siege on Cybertron were the 2 sets. Yeah, that was kind of ridiculous to try to collect them all, but this is much easier. And we know that when those sets were around, they never had a plan for Siege or Earthrise or Kingdom, right? So this is a good little like, hey, we're sorry guys, here's your clone 2 packs. You really actually deserve.
It's like those Build-A-Figures from Marvel, where if you want to collect all the pieces to this one figure, you have to buy all 5. That's what they did.
Yeah, right.
It's going to cost you what was it? Total price about $400 to get all 4 of the clones together in that original arrangement.
But here's the difference with that, right?
Yeah.
Is that Marvel Legends, those are all retail. They don't make an exclusive Build-A-Figure piece, right? Like, they don't leave the head as like an Amazon exclusive that comes with the figure, right?
That would be hilarious.
It's like the exact opposite of like how you do a collect a set, right? So this is much better having them as a pair.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. And this is something they should have done from the get-go. You know, when Titans Return and Power of the Primes and all that stuff was going around, this is something they should have done from the get-go.
Right.
I think the way they've been handling the War for Cybertron is just a heck of a lot better than the Prime Wars trilogy. the way they did the Prime trilogy it made almost no sense to me. But the way they've been doing Kingdom, despite the fact that we're in the middle of a pandemic, it just seems to be fairly. I mean, delays aside, it just seems I seem to understand everything that's happening. I know where everything is. It just makes a lot more sense to me.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, but I said the same thing.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
I'll get my straw.
Oh, yeah, well, it's gonna be a nice frosty root beer. That's what you'll get.
Get your dollar bills rolled. Okay. Okay. So next up, they brought out the ones we probably all been waiting for, Beast Wars, and I'm gonna again flip the screens here so people can see the toys. So first, I have Optimus Primal. Now, back in the olden days, I was working full time. I didn't have time for this, but I ended up getting Optimus Primal. But I missed out on everything from seasons 2 and 3. But I would really love a Transmetal Dinobot, but I know they're not going to do Transmetal. So anyway, input thoughts on the Optimus Primal they showed today.
Loved it. I think it looks really, really cool, and I love the fact that the fur looks a little bit more realistic. Like he looks like gorilla shoulders are actually on his shoulders. You know,
he's textured.
I think that looks. Yeah, it's very nicely textured. I think it looks spot on. I think it was a wonderful update to the original Beast Wars figure.
Crimson, thoughts on
and I pre-ordered
Primal. I pre-ordered. I will tell Crimson thoughts on Primal.
so my thing is like there's something weird about it. Like we were talking this about on the Tales from Teletran podcast. Is like I feel like the fur is a little overpowering on it, but I think I know the reason why is because I'm used to seeing the original Optimus Primal toy and the Telemoka one that was like the Robot Heroes one. I'm used to seeing that with like the robot bits showing. So by seeing a better version of Optimus Primal basically is kind of jarring, but I'm 100% getting it. I love the size. I love that they didn't make him big because, you know, that was the marketing back in the day, right? It's like all the leaders have to be high priced and they got to be big so people will buy them because they got to buy them because they got to have the leader. But in this case, they're keeping with the scale. And I love that. As long as they make Dinobot as tall as Predacon Megatron too, I'll be really, really excited for that. So that'll keep that scale going. But I will reserve judgment on like how well this figure is compared to the Telemoka one that I have, because I like how that one works with its weapons and everything. This one is cool, but I'm curious how big of a difference, big of a jump in quality between the two of them.
Okay. So while I have you, Crimson, your thoughts on Beast Wars Megatron?
So of course the dinosaur guy, right? CrimsonRaptors, right? Like, so I love that the Tyrannosaurus Rex mode, the robot mode. I mean, it's 100% accurate, and even as beast mode, 100% accurate for a Tyrannosaurus Rex. The problem is that the head is not accurate to the TV show. So it'll probably be accurate for Kingdom's show, but it's not accurate to the original Beast Wars show.
Okay.
That aside, and he's beautiful looking and a total sell from me.
Okay, input your thoughts on Megatron, who I think is a little too purple. I mean, he should be a darker purple, right?
I think it's more toy accurate than it is show accurate as far as the purple goes. But when I saw that Megatron, I was just that little kid, just gimme. That was my reaction. Just ate it up, man. That Megatron and everything else that they revealed for the Transformers line, I just 100% in on. Everything that looks so good, especially that Megatron, and then Megatron's tail in robot mode can disengage from his hand, so you can have just this open 5mm peg hand, and you can put the tail wherever you want. And I think that's super cool. And I hope somebody, Hasbro, third-party 3D print, whatever, I hope somebody comes along and does a 3D a toothbrush for that hand, so he can just brush the teeth on the T-Rex head. It'd be great.
And a little rubber ducky.
And the rubber ducky. Yep.
Does he? I didn't catch that. Does he come with the golden disc, or are we just getting teased with that? Because I'm thinking that comes with Dinobots.
So all Deluxe, Voyager, and Leader class come with a golden disc card, and the opposite side of the card reveals a future path for a character in the series. So, according to Jackie, it's random. So we'll see how that works. Probably with my luck, I'll get like 13 rat traps.
Right.
Okay, so Frank, you popped in here. What's up?
Hello.
So-
Nothing much.
So, did you watch PulseCon today?
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Oh, I was like, TF just popped in. Okay, so Frank, what is your thoughts on either Optimus Primal or Megatron?
I can't wait for Primal. Same for Megatron. That core class Prime is like really nice. I might work on a trailer that might be like 3D printable and compatible with the core class Prime when I get my hands on one.
Oh, you like a tiny little? Because I haven't shown that picture yet. Let's see if I can scan to it. Because he is. Now, for anybody who doesn't know, Core Class is what used to be Legend Class. And here's my theory. I think the reason why they changed the name was because it was confusing people for scale when it comes to G.I. Joe and Marvel's use of the Legends term. I think that might be why they tweaked it.
Right. It
Okay,
wouldn't make
so
any sense calling them Battle Masters.
I heard something about Battle Masters.
I'm saying, yeah, it wouldn't make any sense if they called them Battle Masters either, because they were using that for the siege.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Makes perfect sense.
Okay.
It'd be cool if they did a core class Compsognathus.
You said a Core Class Ultra Magnus.
No, a Compsognathus.
A little
Okay.
compy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be cool.
Okay, so TF, you're here.
Yeah, sorry for being late. I was eating lunch with my family. I hope you guys don't mind me popping in so late into the live stream.
That's fine. We're only about wow, we really this late on my clock skip. I don't know. Okay, so what's your thoughts on either Megatron or Primal?
Oh, I've been waiting since I got Generations, Waspinator, Rhinox, and Rat Trap in the Thrilling 30 line back in 2014 for Beast Wars Megatron to join the Beast Wars characters in the getting an updated action figure category. And when Optimal Optimus was released in the Power of the Primes line, that made me want Megatron even more. So Beast Wars Megatron's my most wanted figure of the Kingdom line right now, as of now.
Okay.
And as far as Optimus Primal, he looks pretty amazing. And the fact that he's Voyager class, meaning he's larger than Cheetor, Rat Trap, and he's roughly the same size as Rhinox and Dinobot. The last time I watched Transformers Beast Wars, that is pretty size accurate. Optimus Primal, Rhinox, and Dinobot being roughly the same size, and then Cheetor and Rat Trap being slightly smaller. So I'm excited for both of them.
Hey, WFP. I see you popped in.
I don't know if you guys already discussed this, but in the one of the promotional images for the Kingdom line, it shows that it looks like the Ark is going to have a robot mode. So my question is the Ark going to be given a new name for its robot mode? Because essentially what they did is they turned the Ark just like the Micromaster bases, where it now has its own robot mode. So is it going to have a name for the robot mode now?
Vector Prime.
Oh, I was gonna say, didn't the Ark have a robot mode in a previous series?
Yeah, that was Omega Supreme in animated.
Or animated, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was animated. The Ark was animated Omega Supreme's alt mode.
Yeah, because officially it hasn't been mentioned. It's just in a poster. Like we were earlier talking on the chat about Huffer or what was Pipes, and then if Ultra Magnus has a Earth form, but they haven't shown that either. So right now it's just a bunch of assumption.
Yeah.
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 I mean, because even Polar Claw is shown there on the left, and there's been no mention of him, which is he turns into a polar bear for people that are listening. And
Yeah.
then there's also Ractonite, which is the Styracosaurus. Supposedly it's purple, which reminds me of the Beast Wars Neo character Killer Punch.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
What got me when I first saw the image was Gears. There's been no mention of Gears in the Kingdom line at all. He's all the way on the left side.
I mean, they still got waves to worry about. I mean, this is just wave 1 we're talking about. Speaking of Paleotrex and Vertebrake, I hate them. I hate how they look. I hate their faces. Hey, TF, what is your thoughts on? What's your thoughts on these ugly bastards?
Well, I try not to curse when I can. I try to have a very clean-cut language. So, in all honesty, me personally, I actually like the idea of Transformers with dinosaur alt modes only being the bones, because let's face it, in real life, that is inaccurate to how dinosaurs looked in the 21st century. There's nothing but fossilized bones left of them. So, I really hope the direction they take is that they're almost going to be like the Terracons from Transformers Prime, where they're like zombie formers. If not, then why in the world are they doing that when there's plenty of dinosaur Transformers such as Beast Wars Megatron around?
Okay. Hey,
So,
Frank, I was going to say, Frank, do you have an opinion on the skeleton-looking guys?
I think they're pretty cool. It's an interesting concept, and I wonder how they'd feel in hand.
That is a good point. I mean, because obviously they're going to feel like little skeletons, or maybe compare it to like a comb. It feels like holding a comb.
Oh,
Input, thoughts on skeletons in your hands.
I think that reminds me of was it Transmetal 2 Dinobot? So
Yeah.
I think it's gonna feel awkward in like beast mode, but I think it'll feel really solid in robot mode.
Crimson?
So the fossilizers, I gotta say, like when I saw the Paleotrex, like I was thinking, okay, that's a Tyrannosaurus Rex. I get that, and I was like, then there's a name of Wingfinger that's been rumored, and I was like, well, maybe that's a Pteranodon. So then we have this Vertebrake, which is kind of like a raptor / terror bird kind of amalgamation, and
I think it's a Draco Rex.
I'm sorry. What say again, Frank?
I think it's a Draco Rex.
It looks like a dragon.
Yeah, so it looks like
One
something
sec.
from the last movie, right? But it's got a beak on it, so that's what's really confusing about kind of what they're doing there. But in this case on here, it's like I was thinking originally they were going to do, okay, we're going to do 3 fossilizers, a T-Rex, a Pteranodon, which is a flying reptile, not a dinosaur, and then you have the Velociraptor. And then that was the 3 skeletons that were scanned by the Dark Side, the Predacon ship in Beast Wars. And that was like a good callback to that. And so now they've kind of gone off with the alligator. They've gone off with the vertebrake. So it's really interesting kind of how far it's going to go with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody else have
I'm all
anything?
in.
Yeah, I was going to say, anybody wants to say anything else about these guys before we move on to the next?
Not really.
I think
Okay.
I'm good.
Go ahead.
Is one of them a pterosaur? One of the skeleton?
No, right now, the Vertebrake, which is the Draco, and then Paleotrex, which is like a raptor.
Okay.
Well, Paleotrex is a Tyrannosaurus Rex, not a raptor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people keep saying it's a raptor because I don't know where they're. I mean, I don't know why it's if they're listening to just kind of just people that normally don't know dinosaurs, and I mean it clearly has 2 fingers on it. It's got a big head. It doesn't have a toe claw on the side. So
No, it doesn't have an enlarged toe.
Okay, you guys know too
Right,
much about
right.
dinosaurs.
Oh,
I took a whole college class on dinosaurs, and I try to retain that knowledge for Transformers references.
That's cool.
The only cartoon that requires this particular knowledge.
Exactly.
Okay, so we're going to move on to the one I've been waiting for, other than Dinobot Black Arachnia. And I'm happy she's a deluxe. It bothered me because I almost thought she might end up being a core, and I'm like, no, she needs to be bigger. So she's a large spider. And we'll start with input. Thoughts on Black Arachnia?
I think she looks great. She reminds me of the Masterpiece one that came out recently. I think the figure looks really good. Like I've said in about all these figures, I'm in on this one. I think I even like her spider mode. And for a deluxe class figure, for her to get the spider mode down as perfect as it is an amazing feat. It's an amazing feat of engineering for them to be able to accomplish both modes on a $20 price point versus the $100 price point of the Masterpiece. I think it's awesome.
And she is definitely not a Tarantulas repaint.
No, not at all.
For sure. Are we even going to get Tarantulas in the Kingdom line?
Yeah. Hey, Crimson, thoughts on Black Arachnia?
So she is gorgeous. I totally agree with input. My only caveat is that I know that there's sometimes with Hasbro figures and Takara figures, they have a budget per wave, right? And she got a nice, great chunk of the budget for her sculpting, but they also have to, they have to budget in colors, the plastic colors that they use. I wish they had made her little spider legs had those in the orange plastic. Other than that, she's spot on. I like with input. I'm surprised the beast mode comes out as good as it is. You know, it is like a mini masterpiece.
Yeah, you're not the only one who said that. A number of people have said that. So TF, thoughts on Black Arachnia?
She is just as beautiful as she is deadly looking.
Okay.
He's been sitting on that one.
What was that?
Anyway, Frank, you got anything on Black Arachnia?
She seems pretty cool and way better than the Masterpiece, so I absolutely cannot wait to get her.
Okay, so Frank, starting with you, Cheetor. I like the way he looks here, although I swear he had a different type of coloring when they showed him in person, like his head sculpt was darker, but I feel like that was maybe the Red Series version. Am I thinking the Red Series version? I think
Should
so.
be.
Yeah.
Both of them today.
Yeah. So Frank, Cheetor, thoughts?
The red one or?
Oh well, no, we'll do the. We're still on the Kingdom line, so.
All right. He seems pretty cool. The blue is the only nitpick. It should be a bit more shinier. The cheetah face sort of looks dead because there's no pupils in there. But otherwise, I really like it.
Okay. TF, Cheetor.
Well, here's the thing. I spent $20 buying the deluxe class Cheetor that was released back in 2009, and because of that, I believe that Cheetor is an amazing figure, the Kingdom version, but me personally, I'm not eager to add him to my collection. Same with Rat Trap. I have the older figure, and so my mentality is, why am I going to buy the newer figure if the older ones still have decent amounts of articulation and screen accuracy going for them?
My understanding, the older Rat Trap is the better one of the two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Crimson, Cheetor. Now, before you say anything, I have to say, other than I also forgot I have Waspinator. So other than Waspinator, Transmetal Megatron, and Optimal Optimus, I've never had any of the other characters, and I really like what they're doing with these guys. But Crimson, what is your thoughts on Cheetor?
So we could almost do like a session on Beast Wars, right? But I would say in this case on here, just real quick, is like the robot mode it looks good, but it's every time I see that face, if it's not in shimmery gold like how the Masterpiece is, it looks like a Samurai Pizza Cat. It looks like from that show, right? That cartoon Samurai Pizza Cats. I would say the eyes. Frank mentioned the eyes on the.
Yeah, because I mean, he looks a little plain in his bot mode. Also, I think he should have a blaster and not the tail scythe. I guess that's what it is. Input, thoughts on Cheetor?
I think his shins down look really weird. Like just the way that the animal foot, the beast mode foot, folds into the shin the way it does. I think that should have been a little bit more flawlessly executed. But that's really my only gripe. I even love the scythe thing because it's a callback to the Transmetal Cheetor, that weapon. So I think that's a really cool nod because if they're not going to do transmetals, they can give us nods in other ways. And I think that's a really nice approach to that. But yeah, the shins down just aren't doing it for me. It looks really weird. So.
Okay. Now I have to ask, because the next one we're going to look at is Cyclonus, and starting with input, I really like the Cyclonus, and he looks like an upsized version of the one I got, I don't know, 10 years ago with Hot Rod in the
Shield version.
Right. Anybody else feel that? It feels like that to me. It's just an upsized version of him.
Yeah, I think it looks great. I think they did this Cyclonus extremely well. They originally, when they showed the pictures a few days ago, he was mistransformed in the legs, and I was kind of looking at it. It just felt off to me. But watching them, actually show it today, transformed properly into bot mode and everything, it looks really killer. I love the coloring on it. I love the silver thighs. I really think that they took the original Reveal the Shield one and they improved upon that, which for the longest time I don't think anybody could, and they really did on this one.
Yeah, because they're releasing Scourge in the studio line. Now, I've never bought a studio figure ever. My question then would be, if any of you have, are they comparable or at least the same type of class system as the normal toy line?
I've only bought one. First of all, I really wasn't too impressed with it. Second of all, they do scale with the Generations figures. They scale in the idea that the Voyager class is the same size as a Voyager class in Generations. So in that terms, they scale really well. In terms of everything else, they might not. But like I said, I'm just not too impressed with the. And that might be because it's Bayformers. That might be because I don't like to really care for the character designs or anything like that. Just because of the way they have to engineer the transformations and all this stuff to get from the car to the robot and everything. But I will say that I think the 86 movie is in good hands for this. Mm-hmm. Being a studio series, I think it's in good hands for that. But because it's the guy who worked on it's the designer from it's one of the Masterpiece designers working on those movie studio series lines. I can't remember which one it is. I think it's the one who did MP10 is working on these, designing these and doing all that stuff. The 86 line. And he's the one who also did the MP Grimlock for Takara and everything. So I think I'm in good hands. Long story short.
Okay. Crimson, Cyclonus, and Studio Scourge, thoughts?
Yeah, well, I don't know what happened. I'm sorry. We were talking about Cheetor. I thought it froze on my side. So we're talking about not Cheetor anymore?
Cyclonus and Studio Scourge.
So I didn't see if they had any photos of Studio Series Scourge. But the Cyclonus looks really good. It's gorgeous. It's not based on his movie design or his regular season 3 design. It is based off the Killing Jar, which that particular episode is season 3, because you can tell from the alt mode and from the way the robot mode is stylized. But I think the size is right because he's going to be a little bit taller than Scourge, probably eye to eye with a Galvatron, but he'll also kind of be a little bit shorter than Ultra Magnus, and I think that'd be right.
That would be nice if they scale. TF, thoughts on Cyclonus?
I'm really impressed with Cyclonus. As you said a moment ago, he does look like an upscale version of Reveal the Shield Cyclonus, and I really like that because the only... Sorry, that noise you're hearing is me getting out from my box. So the only Voyager class figure of Cyclonus we've gotten based on Generation 1 Cyclonus is this. Oops, sorry. The Combiner Wars Cyclonus. And in all aspects, comparing Combiner Wars Cyclonus with the new Kingdom Cyclonus, the Kingdom one blows this one out of the water because underneath he's just a robot folded up underneath a jet fuselage and jet wings, Combiner Wars version, and even when you remove his laser gun, and his nose cone section looks like it's too thin for the bulky size of jet that he is. I don't know if it's just me, but if you look at the photos of the new Kingdom Cyclonus, the wings, not the larger wings, but right here, sorry, can't get the camera angles correct. The smaller wings here that are on Kingdom Cyclonus' arms, they look almost like they're the same shape as the ones used here on the Combiner Wars version.
I'm looking at, because let me put the picture on screen for people watching. The little, what do we want to call them? The little rare wings, I guess. I mean, frankly, the toy looks fantastic. I mean, we all know that the little coin point is the point on the front of it is going to go into the top. And then, let's see, that is the head. Yeah, it looks like the head. And I feel like he's also going to transform very similarly to the Reveal the Shield one. Although, I was going to say, he has the knees similar to Galvatron. And it does make me kind of think that maybe, because Rodimus Primal wants a Rodimus Prime. I feel like maybe we'll get to see that because it looks like they're leaning towards Galvatron eventually happening too. So that's...
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but several weeks ago, someone found a database listing almost all of the Transformers characters we're getting in the Kingdom line. Like, not just Wave 1, the entire line.
Yeah, the thing about that is, because like anytime a new game or something comes out, somebody always fakes an image that looks too good to be true. And I'll take it with a grain of salt. My little brother gets too excited about rumors, and I don't want to get into that where I'm like, oh crap, this is really going to happen, and then put money away and get excited about release day, quote unquote release day, and then it comes out, or not comes out, the release day comes up, and I find out that toy doesn't even exist, and I basically spent 2 months going, oh, I cannot wait. So I don't give rumors any leeway, but going on. TF, Cyclonus, perhaps Scourge, thoughts?
Cyclonus is great. Scourge is great. And I'm checking Amazon right now. And guys, the Kingdom figures are up for pre-order on Amazon right now if any of you buy your Transformers from Amazon.
Yeah, they went up. Everything went up for pre-order immediately after Hasbro PulseCon.
Yeah, I went up on PulseCon and got everything there except for the twins, which I got at Amazon. Okay, Frank, any opinions on Cyclonus or Scourge?
They look really cool. And, like, I'm glad that they're doing blast effect compatibility for the 86 movie line. Well,
I do like the fact that they're doing compatibility across the entire series. I really appreciate the fact that there's just a lot more options to, posability, playability, functionality. It's just there's so much more you can do with them now. But then we also keep in mind that they just raised the price of a deluxe to $23. If anybody remembers the Prime Wars trilogy, they were $17, and then at the beginning of this series, War for Cybertron, they went up to $20, and now we're only a wave later, and they've gone up another $3. So that might pinch some people a little bit.
Maybe it's just like pandemic prices, or I
think it is some other bases, but they're 1884, so it makes it look like that's on sale from a consumer point of view. So I'm sure that's kind of what's going on with why they would increase it 3, because Big Bad Toy Store and other places, like, they've added that couple of extra dollars, just a little more cushion on the top, a little whipped cream on top, so to speak. And so this kind of gives everybody else like, okay, yeah, we'll do that too. We'll get our profit too. So.
No, that's not going to happen at all. Big Bad Toy Store is going to jump the price up to $26 a deluxe. So if you order from Big Bad Toy Store, you're going to end up paying more, just like you do now. That's the way it's always been.
Even if that happens, no matter, at the end of the day, we are still paying far less for figures of the size and quality than our parents or grandparents did for Generation 1. Because when a deluxe reaches about that $35 range, $38, that's kind of where they were paying for G1 and G2 toys. So once we get to that point, then we can really complain. But I don't want to pay $30 for a deluxe. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that it's still not anywhere near that price of old.
Right, but they also got more back then. They also got die cast. They also got accessories. They also got a bunch of more stuff for that price point.
That is true. Yeah.
Because when you look at the G1 Optimus Prime re-release, that happened a year or two ago. He didn't come with the trailer, but if you adjust for inflation, that re-release would have been $100 instead of $50. So which makes that means G1 Optimus Prime back in the 80s, talking in today's money, would have released at $100, right? So they got more for their buck back then. They paid for it, but they got more for their money back then. And I think that if they gave us more for our money, I think we'd be willing to accept that. But I don't think that we are. I think they're increasing prices because of business reasons. I'll just put it that way. But I think they're increasing prices because of that. Again, things that we didn't ask for that they're doing, but they're not doing what we asked for. If that makes sense.
Okay. So
what do you mean?
Oh, did you have?
Not doing?
Oh, the delay is killing me. I'm gonna move on
do
anyway.
Do you want diecast? I'm sorry, Anthony. Does Input? Do you want diecast on these figures?
Yeah, I would. If they put diecast on Transformers and they made a $30 deluxe and they had diecast feet, I'd buy it all day long.
See, I don't know if I would.
Yeah, I think I have enough problems with figures falling over on my shelf.
Yeah.
If they're diecast, then they're going to start hurting me.
All the people with diecast figures, the shelf starts to bow and then just break and. Okay.
No, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So moving on to the last two of the series, Core Class Rat Trap and Deluxe Class Warpath. Crimson, thoughts on those two? The rumors, like, literally at the same time leaked, and we already knew these two guys were coming out.
Right. I would say the Warpath looks like, I love the Generations one. I think that's very Siege-like itself. And this Warpath looks incredible in robot mode. They're like in the G1 cartoon, he looked really dumpy. There are third-party offerings that he looks really dumpy. But in this case, they have nailed that robot mode and said, hey, can we make this look way better than the cartoon? And they did. And I'm super excited when he shows up in Kingdom or Earthrise or whatever they want to do, because that's a really, really awesome, hilarious character with all his, onomatopoeias that he says.
Right.
So I'm super excited for that. The vehicle mode, it's okay. So I'm a big military weaponry buff, and that is not a M551 Sheridan tank like he was in G1. That is a weird looking tank. It's almost like an old World War II German self-propelled artillery tank. But that being said, it still look good, and I think Chrysler owns the M551, so maybe there's some patent, something, whatever, or not patent, but like some kind of copyright, something with it. But it just like all you could expect from a really good Warpath, and he's tall, so he's the right size that he's supposed to be. I'm super excited for him.
Yeah, because I have the Legends version from Prime Wars, and I definitely got this guy because I wanted to scale Warpath. So I felt like this was a better choice for just scale alone. But input thoughts on Warpath or Rat Trap or both.
Well, I like Rat Trap. I like the fact that he's that size again. I think that's super cool. I think that if you're one of those people who I feel like if you replace figures because you only want one representation of each character, I still think the deluxe class Warpath is the way to go. But I do like what they did with this Warpath. I like that he's smaller. I like that he is he's a mini bot. I like that because I'm a huge Transformers toy guy over cartoon accuracy. I'd rather have a toy accurate toy, right, than a show accurate toy. And him being smaller, I think, is super cool. I dig it. I think he looks really good too. Yeah, definitely a Warpath to get if people don't have a Warpath for sure.
Okay, so TF, Warpath and Rat Trap thoughts.
Oh, my internet died on me when we were talking about Cyclonus and Scourge, so I think they're great. I'm really looking excited to them. I hope we get to see images of Scourge soon. Rat Trap and Warpath, I'm not really excited for them because I have a third-party version of Warpath in my collection. Rat Trap, I'm not too excited for either, but make no mistake, I think they're pretty amazing. And before my internet died, I was about to announce to you guys, Amazon has most of the Kingdom figures up for pre-order right now. If you want to pre-order the Kingdom figures from Amazon, head on over there.
Hashtag not sponsored.
It's funny. I can't remember if it was. I think Frank just told us the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun. Okay, so
here's the thing: if chat does not go to Amazon to get the Kingdom, then they've not been listening to us.
Yeah, I don't know if Frank told you guys this, but according to Amazon, some of the smaller figures like the deluxes and the core figures will be released on February 1st, and the larger figures like the Voyager and Leader class figures, they'll be released on March 1st. So it appears Amazon isn't going to release the entirety of Wave 1 at the exact same time. I just pre-ordered Megatron, Beast Wars Megatron.
yeah, the Hasbro Pulse website says everybody but Rat Trap and Megatron are on February 1st. Yeah, so
Yeah.
yep. Okay, so moving on to Prime Wars, or sorry, not Prime Wars, Transformers Prime. They announced breakdown the Viacon for Army Building and Hades Megatron. So we'll start with you, TF. What is your thoughts on these new Prime toys for the 10-year anniversary?
Oh, give me breakdown right now. I've been waiting 10 years. I've been waiting 10 years to get a hold of him. I tried to get breakdown several years ago, but I couldn't. But I got the next best thing. I got Swerve, who was a repaint with a sculpt of breakdown. So I was at least able to get that. So I know how the mold transforms, but I was never able to get a hold of breakdown. So I'm excited for him. The Viacon Jet's just a bonus to me since breakdown's the figure from that 2-pack. As far as the new Prime Megatron, I'm not as excited for it as I am for Breakdown. But yes, I'm really looking forward to finally adding Breakdown to my collection.
Okay. Input thoughts on these Prime toys.
I've got that Megatron twice now, so I'm indifferent towards the Megatron. I'm really indifferent towards all three of them. I think it's cool that whoever wanted it is getting it. But I don't know if, truthfully, if I was in on one of them, it would be the double pack with the Viacon and Breakdown. But I'm not sure if I care enough to grab them. So like I said, if you like it or if you want it and you've been waiting for it and wanting it for so long, I'm happy that you're getting it. I'm happy that it's an option and it's there for you.
Crimson, thoughts on the Prime stuff?
So it's weird. So I don't really have as much of affinity for Transformers Prime as a lot of my fellow Queens fans do. But I will say that because the only Prime figure I have is the Knockout, and I like it. I love his character. I like everything that's everything Knockout. Right?
Is it Darren Norris was his voice actor, if I remember correctly?
Yeah, he did a fantastic job. And so I'm gonna have to. I definitely pre-ordered the 2-pack because I need his Buddy Breakdown to be right next to him. If only for that reason. The Air Viacon, I don't know. Maybe I'll name him Bob, Steve. I don't know. But that Air Viacon would be really nice.
Okay. So then we move on to the Red Series, where Prime RC and then Beast Wars Cheetor were shown here. I'm going to throw the picture up. So Crimson, any thoughts on the Red Series? Now, personally, I don't care if they don't. I care if they don't transform, so I'm not interested. But what are your feelings on this series and these two new releases?
Yeah, I've been trying to find the pic of that. Yeah, I don't know about the Red Series. Like I want that Metron for sure. I'm kind of out on just about all of the others. I mean, it's strange for them to be releasing a non-transforming and a transforming one at the exact same time, and at a very much a competing price point for both of them. So this is kind of strange. I mean, I don't know quite the marketing with that, because that means, I mean, as they're all Walmart exclusives, right? All the RED line is.
Yeah. I was gonna say, and I have to look. Yeah, Walmart. You're right.
Yeah. So I don't know if they're kind of like they're hedging their bets on that. I will say that the Prime RC, I'm sorry, the Cheetor, like, okay, I finally found the picture. It is cool that he comes with a little Energon crystal, but why is it pink, or is that the lighting? Is that blue, but it's being shined pink?
It's kind of a purplish color.
Yeah, but so it reminds me of the really awesome Beast Wars computer game, the PC game. Not the fighting one that came out later, but the one where you could transform in kind of an open world kind of thing. So that's really cool. But I will say his head right here is superior to the Kingdom version of the toy, because it doesn't give that Samurai Pizza Cat look.
Okay. Input.
I'm in 100% on both of them. I think they both look really, really good. Truthfully, anything Prime RC, what they're willing to do with the Red Series, bringing back Action Masters like this, I think is awesome. Just for people who don't care about transformations, they just want like something to, representation of it. And with action figure articulation, I think it's a really great idea. And like I said, I think they both look wonderful.
Okay. Frank, any opinions on them? Did we lose Frank?
I'm back.
Okay. So Red Series, Cheetor, and RC.
They look really great. Cheetor looks really nice. I really hope his gun will be compatible with the Kingdom one.
Okay. Alrighty. So moving on. I was like, do I have pictures of these guys? I don't. Okay. So going back to they did the Hall of Fame. And
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So I was looking through some of these pictures. So you're telling me that they removed RC's chest plate on the live show?
Yes, they revealed her chest.
That is so weird. Because that is the strange, also callback to Beast Wars, where Rat Trap says to Cheetor, "Hey, when we get to Cybertron," or it says to Silverbolt, he says, "I'll show you the little place on Cybertron where the bots don't wear their chest plates." And I'm like, "Whoa, wait a minute."
Okay, so
I also missed that. I had no idea that line was there.
Yeah.
Did you even vote in it?
I didn't vote, no. But I will say that I was a little disappointed that the Toy of the Year went to Skylinks and not Scorponok. But I think everything else was well deserving.
Okay, Crimson.
But
oh, sorry. Go ahead. There's a delay, so when you do a pause, I think you're done.
okay. Fair enough. But I was just going to say that I do understand why Skylinks is in there. I get it, but I would have just given it to Scorponok. So
I love Skylinks. It sits behind me now. Crimson, thoughts on the Hall of Fame?
So, were you only able to vote on Facebook?
what?
Is that right? How?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think Facebook was the only website you could vote.
Yeah, so I'm not on Facebook, so I couldn't vote at all. So I call that, this is not democracy. No, just kidding. So, but I'll say that that RC I think would have definitely deserved in a Hall of Fame too. But Grimlock, Greg Berger being inducted in it, really amazing. That's awesome. But with the Toy of the Year, I disagree with my buddy Input, as it's like, I've seen Scorponok, I've not held him, but I've seen everything about him, but I've held Skylinks, and that is just a love letter from just his character to the show to everything, and Scorponok probably is too. But it's like Skylinks just has like all the embodiment of somebody that has all those play features and just totally makes sense of being a Toy of the Year.
Yes, that is yes. Yeah, because I say he's sitting behind me. I can't see in this thing, but yeah. I think he's in the wrong mode to be a parrot. Okay. TF, thoughts on the Hall of Fame?
I'm glad that Greg Berger got in. I can't remember who I voted for. For Character of the Year, I definitely did not vote for Knockout, and when I saw it, I was like, oh, he's going to get it. I voted for someone else, thinking that maybe might take away Knockout's chances of winning. I knew he was going to get it when I saw that he was one of the characters listed. I actually was torn when I saw the choices for Toy of the Year. I was actually torn between Skylinks and Scorponok. But the main reason I went with Scorponok, and because he's much smaller, he doesn't take up as much room compared to Scorponok. And just the amount of view and accuracy Skylinks has going for him, and the playability of his gimmick of the upper and lower halves of his vehicle being different robots that combine does. Even though Scorponok, the triple changer, two of his modes are basically designed to be mobile places. His one mode's a city, the other mode's a battle, the other mode's a scorpion. Granted, it is mobile, but I just had to give it to Skylinks because he has a lot more going for him than Scorponok does.
Okay. So Frank, are you back with us?
Wait, what?
Do you have any opinions on the Hall of Fame choices?
Hey, TFfangeek, you might want to mute your
it's
mic.
pretty cool.
I think there's stuff in the
I
background.
have yet to get me Skylinks. I'm either gonna wait until he's dropped the clearance.
Well, if I
Okay. So before we finish, there's one more thing that happened. They did a panel with Frank Welker and Peter Cullen. And I'm going to throw these pictures up here. And Frank Welker, I mean, he's obviously the voice of Megatron and Soundwave. And Fred Jones, like his first voice role was Fred Jones back in his first voice role, Gravitas. So they just, I know it whenever I hear it. And I hate when other people play their roles.
absolutely agree with that. I think Frank Welker is the greatest voice actor of all time. There's a rumor that he's made more money in Hollywood than any other actor, just because he's played voices and he does sound effects and he does damn near anything and everything for any movie. Side bit, he played Shao Kahn in the first Mortal Kombat live action movie. So that one or two lines that Shao Kahn had, that was Frank Welker. But But yeah, Frank Welker is top of the list. But I will agree that anytime I hear anybody playing like a G1 Megatron or Prime or like in Peter Cullen's case, anybody doing like a narration over Voltron, it doesn't sound right if it's not either one of those playing that character. Because they bring so much. They bring so much to the characters that they play. And to your point, like no one will ever in a million years be Fred ever again. Because Frank Welker has played every Fred except for young Fred from a pup named Scooby-Doo, but he's played every Fred since 1969. So there's not going to be another Fred after Frank, you know. But they're both top of the list, hands down.
Okay, so Crimson, thoughts on Cullen and Welker? Are they your gods? Because they're probably mine.
Well, I wouldn't say they're my gods, but I will say that they are definitely well loved, and not trying to be that downer or something, but like I know that the day that they're getting older, and if Peter Cullen when he does pass away, that is truly going to be a sad day. That Optimus Prime would join the Matrix. But I would say that this case with both of them, like I understand their position, because I get it from both point of views. I get from the union point of view, and then Netflix saying, we've got a budget, what we're producing. But so there's kind of like they could have said, okay, we're not going to be in the union. We're going to take whatever the price you got so we can play these characters. So it's a principle thing not to do that, but it's also a negotiation tactic to say, look, these are the fees that we have. We play these characters for years. We need to be given that part. So I get that position, and I think the show is amazing as it is, but going into it, we all knew it wasn't going to be Peter Cullen. We all knew it wasn't going to be Frank Welker. And so that's not a knock on the show. That's just a knock on the producing of the show, right? And in that case on there, Frank Tadaro, who played Starscream, he's a union voice actor as well. He decided not to, be union for this production. So that choice is there, but the issue is that, it should have been something that was done from the get-go. Hasbro's, look, okay, fine, we'll pay Frank, we'll pay Peter, we'll include them in the production. You guys go ahead and just do that, right? Like Hasbro would foot the bill for their paycheck. That could have been done, but I don't know what contract negotiations they had with Rooster Teeth, who was doing the voice acting with Polygon. Polygon, they're just producing the actual visuals, right? And Rooster Teeth's in charge of that. So I don't know how all that worked out with Netflix and Hasbro and Rooster. But hopefully, and it looks like Earthrise one, they may have a 3-year contract. So we're not getting Gary Chalk, we're not getting David Kay as Megatron and Optimus Primal, it looks like so far. So if people want that, if fans want that, they need to make that push now. Because once Kingdom hits, and the year after next, then that's when those contract negotiations need to be set up. So if we're going to make that push to get Optimus Primal and Predacon Megatron for sure, it needs to be done today. And Scott McNeil too, for any 60 million characters he plays too.
Yeah,
but I love that Frank is very open about this. Frank Welker, I love that Peter Cullen's very open and talking about it. That's good, because that gets that conversation rolling, and that lets the fans know kind of what's going on and what happened. Because if we didn't hear about that, if they didn't say something, then it's like, well, who do we blame? Who do we get to change that system, right? Those are my thoughts on it.
All right. My quick response to who's next, I really like David Kay. I really enjoyed him in his previous roles in the Transformers universe. So TF, Cullen and Welker.
Oh, I love the voice work that both of them have ever done. Going off what Input said earlier, I don't think Frank Welker is the #1 all-time greatest voice actor. I think that title still belongs to Mel Blanc because he voiced 99% of the Looney Tunes characters. But
Oh,
Walker's
you're
definitely
right. I forgot about Mel Blanc. He is the best. Oh.
Yeah, Walker is number 2. Yeah, because I think Frank Walker. I think he's only 2 or 3 years off from surpassing. I just forgot his name. Oh yes, Frank Walker. I think he's only 2 to 3 years off for off of holding the record for voicing a cartoon character the longest. That record's currently held by Clarence Nash. He voiced Donald Duck for 53 years, but I think Frank Walker, he's been voicing Fred Jones since 1969, which is 51 years. So yeah, he only has 2 years to tie and only 3 years to surpass Clarence Nash in holding the record for voicing a cartoon character the longest length of time in history. If he continues to voice Fred Jones for the next 3 years. And as far as Peter Cullen's work, Peter Cullen, he's been around since my childhood, even though I didn't know it at the time, because during the 90s, Frank Walker and Peter Cullen did voice work for Disney. And first time I actually heard Frank Walker's voice was when I went to see Aladdin, and even though I didn't know it back then, because Frank Walker actually voiced one of the characters in Disney's Aladdin movie, the cartoon version released in 1993.
Infidel.
Yeah, but he also did the voice of Abu the monkey, in case
Yes,
you
he
guys
did.
didn't know that.
Yeah, I think he still did the voice
Yeah.
even for the animated series.
Yeah, and then Peter Cullen during the 90s, he provided the voice for Eeyore. And so whenever I'd watch Winnie the Pooh, Peter Cullen was the one who entertained me with Eeyore's gloominess.
I think he actually still does Eeyore's voice too. Like they recently did.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, so yeah, they're both active, like super active.
hmm Yeah, I applaud both of them for their work. Even though I haven't watched it yet, I was thrilled when I found out that both of them provided the voices for the two-headed Rocklord's character from the GoBots franchise, Sticks and Stones. What's his name? The two-headed Rocklord monster. And so, knowing that guys who voice Optimus Prime, Megatron voiced 2 voices of a two-headed fictional character, that was just that just made my day learning about that.
Right, because there was an episode of Cyberverse where Frank Walker, Peter Cullen, I want to say Susan Blue's still alive. Yeah. So they 3 voiced character together on Cyberverse, and I cannot remember who they were. They're not Quintessons.
What character was it? It wasn't a Quintesson?
No, it was some type of wall with faces in it, but it wasn't Quintesson. I cannot remember who it was. Although it may have been Quintesson adjacent. It happened earlier in the season, and at least for me, there was a delay in viewing. So, like, I saw all but the last 2 episodes, like last year or earlier this year, and finally just saw the last 2 episodes online.
Listen, if you want to know a website where you can watch every episode of Cyberverse, I can provide you one in private chat if you want after we're done here.
I can actually watch all the episodes on YouTube right now.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the official where you need to watch it, because that way Hasbro knows that there's interest in it. So, I mean, it's not going to come back. Cyberverse is done and with, but really it's not good.
And I think it ended on a good note.
I think the ending was fine, too. I wish it would have got a better ending for Rescue Bots Academy, but what are you going to do?
Yeah. But I do have one gripe with Cyberverse. I do have one gripe with the Cyberverse franchise. And it's that Strika appears in the cartoon series, but we've got no action figure of her. That's my one gripe with Cyberverse. I mean, why are you gonna include a character that's been around the Transformers franchise for a long time who needs to have an updated figure, but you're not gonna actually release a figure of her?
So moving on, Frank, Welker and Cullen. What are your thoughts on these 2 legends?
I'm huge fans of all their voice work. I didn't really see their part of the panel, so like, yeah.
Okay. I asked everybody that question, right? Because I went off track. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, 2 people came in late, TF and Frank. So starting with TF, because the other guys already did it, can you promote your channel and what you do?
Oh, sure. So I have the same name that I have here on Discord, TFfangeek. I know it's not FangEek. I've actually been thinking of switching out the lowercase g with a capital one, so people know that it's the word geek in my name. I'm on YouTube, simply on YouTube. I'm not on Facebook or Twitter or any of the social media websites. But whenever I can, I do try to upload videos, and most of my subscribers have told me they find my videos worth watching, so that's good to know.
Yeah,
they
I've
don't
actually been
feel
watching a lot of your
comments.
videos recently.
Really?
Yeah, you're informative. I mean, actually, pretty much most anybody who's in the Transformers reviewers group that we just started, I've been like really. I spend full days losing track of time watching you guys' videos because now I think to myself, man, am I crap or are these guys just good?
Well, I've been collecting Transformers nonstop since 2003, so I have a lot of extensive knowledge on Transformers. Because when I was introduced to the Transformers franchise when I was in a deep, deep depression, and one day I was flipping through television channels and I saw Optimus Prime and I was like, oh wow, that guy looks amazing. And then when I found out there were action figures of him being made, I was like, okay, I found my calling. But yeah, Transformers saved me from life-threatening. That's why I've been a Transformers geek.
And this Transformers show pops up, and 3 episodes only, and I had no idea. Did the show end? Was that it? I remember because it was those 3 episodes got me hooked. But
It's a stop motion series for about a year now. Transformers: The Search for Triptychon. I'm pretty sure it's going to release around third quarter of next year.
On Anthony, this was really awesome and great. If you want to go for an 8-hour live stream, I'm totally down for that too.
Ooh.
I did a 3-hour with some of the older
Just on a
guys,
different day.
and our butts all hurt just to chair.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay, so I would like to thank Input, CrimsonRaptors, Frank the second, and TFfangeek or FangeEek.
I never said that. I never said that. Understand?
And I am going to mention that at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on YouTube, Patriot Prime Reviews will be doing a Bros and Bots live stream. Here's his lovely mug here on the screen. You can find him, and then of course, as you see, this is his Instagram showing. So you can go check that out. I'm going to be in the chat. I don't know if any of you guys are going to be in that chat, but
I'm going to try to be.
Yeah.
The difficult thing for me is I live in California and Patriot Prime lives in Virginia, so there's a 3-hour time difference between us.
Yeah.
So, and that's most of my subscribers too. That's why not many of them can make it to my live streams and why I missed out on a lot of other collectors' live streams.
Okay.
True.
Okay. So again, thank you guys for participating. Everybody who's watching, the stuff is hopefully still on sale. I remember when I started going on Hasbro Pulse this afternoon, the website was sluggish. So just keep trying, and then hopefully you can find what you're looking for. As the guy said, everything's also listed on Amazon, and you can also find Big Bad Toy Store. That's usually if Amazon don't have it, I go to Big Bad Toy Store. So check them out too. And thank you everybody for watching. And if you have any questions or whatever, please post a comment and go to these guys' pages and subscribe and like everything they did. I think about 2,000 combined videos. Just like them all. Alrighty. Thanks, everybody. Goodbye.
Welcome. Bye.
Bye. See you guys.
That's how I am my YouTube videos.
I can't tell when we're on Discord, like when